Hey everybody, we are live on Disc Golf Answerman episode 328. We are trying something new that we hope will help us avoid technical errors or issues. Oh, it's working, so we're good to go. Okay, so I guess we could have just started the show because we don't have to do the whole, did you hit record, right? Or do you have to hit record on the...
I still have to hit record.
Oh, you still have to
I
record
thought that we usually didn't start the show because we wanted to have some people join us.
This is true.
Not just because
That's
we
what
don't have
That's why we
technical.
could have the countdown.
That's
What's up
good.
in YouTube land? What do you guys got going on in YouTube? You guys excited about the CBS Sports Network broadcast of the
Ooh,
Disc
nice.
Golf Pro Tour Dynamic Discs Open?
Yeah, about to get real.
About to get real.
Hey,
I'm
Lucha Cabra, thanks, man. He
We already
said,
got a super chat?
no, he
Oh.
just said, it's Robert with the most soothing voice ever.
Aw.
There's one guy who, when I'm on commentary, I don't remember who it is, but he said I sound like Barack Obama. And he said, okay, after the last one, he was like, literally, there's no way he's not trying to sound like Obama at this point. I listened back to it
That's
once,
weird.
and I heard a little bit of it, not nearly as much as he did.
I guess I'd have to go back and listen to Obama.
Bobby has extra dose of cool today.
Yes.
Love the glasses.
Boom.
6 specs, son.
I was trying to see if anybody would notice.
Happy second Monday. Hey, thanks, Drake. Appreciate that.
If anybody noticed me wearing sunglasses inside.
Doc, the FPO is mixed in with the MPO on CBS.
Let us know in the chats if you have access to it. I already have my YouTube TV set to record it or DVR it or whatever the term is for YouTube TV.
Videotape it.
Yes.
VHS?
I've got the VCR ready to go.
What was it?
Do I have to leave the
What was
TV
it
on to
before-
make sure it's recording? Right? Don't you have to leave the TV on? 'Cause
No.
if you have the oh.
No, you don't. Laserdisc. That was
I used to have
before
Laserdisc.
DVD. That was before DVD.
Did you
before
have that?
Blu-ray. No.
We used to have-
Easily the coolest named form of recorded
Well,
media.
yeah,
Laserdisc.
it's way better than
Laserdisc.
Blu-ray.
But like
and
I
DVD.
had the machine, obviously the player, and it was in a square thing, and you would have to put it in, and then you take the holder out, and the laser disc would stay in there.
Yeah.
I say that I think DJ Roomba's way cooler than Laserdisc. now that
DJ
I think about
Roomba
it.
is very cool. Let's talk about this for a second though.
What?
Do you still own a DVD player?
Actually, I do, and it's sitting in a box.
I don't.
I did not.
Chris, if I wanted to try and sound like Obama, I'd have to change the cadence of how I say things.
Yeah, I don't know.
He says like, he would say like, when I go play disc golf, I enjoy playing disc golf. It's like that's his cadence is
Yeah.
a lot
Mhm.
different than mine.
I
Do
think he
I
took-
need some more bass for that?
You're right.
Okay.
I think he says his words a lot faster too. Like when I go play disc golf.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I enjoy playing disc golf, but
That
there's
sounded like him.
spaces in between. You know what? I'm gonna have to listen to it
Yeah.
because I don't have a lot of great impressions. In fact, very few. Maybe that could be one.
All right, we ready to start the show now? How many we got people rolling in?
Rising Am said not enough bass on Robert. Just kidding. Dang it! I thought I was gonna get what I wanted.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and hit record.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Robert McCall. Eric McCabe is away on assignment. I'm not sure if we can mention where he's at, but I know he is traveling for course design. So
He just posted on Facebook. He's in Indiana. I think.
Indiana. I thought he
Right
was going
now.
to. Oh,
Right
Right now.
That's a
Ah.
different place.
gotcha. Okay. So, but super exciting to have him out there designing more disc golf courses. Hopefully, it turns out to be another disc golf course in your area, maybe your area. So we have me and Robert, and then we also have Anthony and Danny joining us for this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man, and also will be part of the Disc Golf Hot Takes.
Ooh.
So very, very cool.
Yes, we are here.
So this week is super hype week because if you've listened to this before Wednesday, August 26th, hopefully you are ready to be tuned into CBS Sports Network where they will broadcast the Disc Golf Pro Tour Dynamic Discs Open. This is a 4-part event where each one will be 1 hour long, and it's going to be round 1, round 2, and then the final round of the Dynamic Discs Open. And then on the fourth night is the high stakes skins match with some of the top players. Can we tell people what they were playing for, how much they were playing for?
No,
Or we're not allowed to?
not until the day of.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah. So, I'll just tell you, when we say it's high stakes, I really mean it when I say high stakes. I've never seen a skins match worth this much money before. So it's super exciting. If you're not sure how to watch CBS Sports Network, make sure you go to dynamicdisc.com, go to the blog section, and look for the article talking about the dates being announced. And it's actually got a little paragraph how to watch it. Basically, you can do it through YouTube TV, Fubo TV, DirecTV, Hulu, and additionally the live sports network stream available through cbssports.com. Now, I'm super excited to have you guys disc golf fans watch it, but I'm even more excited to have non-disc golfers watch it, right? So it's not going to be your typical Jomez tournament coverage. Jomez took it up a level and added, I think, almost 20 people to their crew to put together a spectacular 1-hour show. I want you to invite some of your friends.
Yeah.
Family.
I'm telling you, we've had, okay, by the way, let's start off with this. If you're expecting this to be shot-for-shot coverage like you normally see on Jomez or Central Coast or some of the post-production that we've done, it's not that. You will not see every shot thrown in rounds 1, 2, and 3. However, what you will see is the story of a disc golf tournament told. Spending some time talking about the disc golfers who are there competing, a little bit about who they are, what motivates them, stuff like that. It's a super cool production. Guaranteed, it's the coolest one that we've had in disc golf. Period. Yeah. And that probably sounds like I'm biased. If it was just okay, I'd be like, hey, everyone, watch this. It's not. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we've been privileged to see some of the footage, and I am super hyped for people to watch it. So again, this is the opportunity, yes, for you to watch it, but make sure you invite friends and family. Post on your social media. Tell people, have a little party. I know some people are already having family over to have a family night to watch it. We're going to be here during it, spending time with you live here on YouTube. Now, we're not going to broadcast the actual CBS Sports Network broadcast. We're going to be watching it on a monitor here, and then we're going to be streaming our reaction, a companion stream, if you will. So if you want someone to watch it with and you want to be able to chat and hear our reactions and just kind of talk about it, make sure you tune in. We're going to go live around 5:30 p.m., 5:45 p.m. Central, so that we're ready to go 6 p.m. Central for the broadcast, because we're going to hit play and we're going to be watching it and talking about it. So awesome. Super exciting stuff.
Couple super chats before we get started. Christian dropped $4.99. Thank you, Christian. He said, can we get back the old school swirly discs instead of the burst? So burst is a totally different process than the swirly discs are. And when the swirly discs are kind of one-offs. They were never intentional. It was usually just when we were changing colors. So the burst is very repeatable. When you see non-burst stuff come out, if it's a swirly one, that means it's, kind of rare that it was made that way. So that's pretty cool. And then one other, Doc's Den, $3. He said, Champion T-Devil, what would be a Trilogy disc? The T-Devil is kind of like a straighter destroyer, so I think you'd like something like a Trespass, or maybe like a Biofusion Raider or something in there. That's what I think you should try.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much for the super chat. If you're wondering where the super chats go, well, what it is when you send that super chat into our YouTube channel, and I go to Jeremy and say, hey, Jeremy, we could use a new microphone. We could use a new camera. We are able to look at those funds and say, the people want it.
This is what the people want.
And so we can use those funds toward new equipment.
They gave us money for it.
And the occasional.
And tacos.
That's where I was going. The occasional torch cheese taco as well.
Dude, it's so close in Wichita.
I know. So people keep posting
I don't know
pictures.
the actual
I love that you guys are
but
tagging
I've
us in
seen the building. Like I've seen it in person.
I want to go the first day, but I know it's going to be jam-packed. So I want to go the first available. You will?
As long as the first day isn't the same day that my son is being born, I am going to be there.
What if it's the day after?
I see you there. Yeah.
Are you gonna have your son with you, or?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. I mean, you got to start him out right.
Yeah, Lil Warden. Yeah. We finally decided on a name, guys. It's Lil Warden. Thank you. L-I-L, middle name.
Okay, so let me ask you this: did you actually approach Shay with the name Little Warden?
No.
You haven't even mentioned it to her?
No. But I will.
I can literally picture her face, but I really want to. Hopefully, I want to be there. Maybe tonight at pickleball if you're at pickleball.
We should be there. When she's even more emotionally fragile than right now.
Right.
I'll go for it. We'll just see how it goes.
You let us know how that goes on the next show for
Yeah,
sure.
I'll definitely do that.
If you're on the next show.
Yeah, if I still exist.
Because I want you to go full on like serious, like, hey,
look,
consider this. Because I know you're the straight face man. You're
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I got.
anyway, all right, guys. Well, let's jump into the questions. As always, go to discgolfanswerman.com and submit your disc golf questions, and we will try to get them on the air. Let me see if I can get Google Forms to cooperate with me. Here we go. Oh, I probably should take my sunglasses off now. So I can see much better.
I was enjoying it.
This one's from Zachary. This is on Eric Oakley and the Hop X Step.
Well,
We ready for this one? Danny might want to chime in on this one. He's a forms man.
I am very ready for this one.
All right, here we go. Here's the question. I've been watching a lot of professional disc golf recently. As a recent convert from Ultimate, I have the basics down okay, but I've slowly been looking for tips or even simple inspiration from the top pros. I've taken a liking to Eric Oakley's play. He seems like a very frank and straightforward speaker, and I hope to mimic his forehand one day. Maybe. However, every time I see him play, his X-step seems peculiar. You should try to go hang out with him. You'll really
his everything seems peculiar.
As a new player, mine is very smooth and deliberate, which with faults in it, but purposeful nonetheless. However, he is relatively quick, and from behind it almost appears like he's skipping, and his trailing arm seems to position itself far away from his body as he is throwing. I've been taught not to rush the X step, but to focus on power and body control. Is there some reason why Eric does this? To me, it makes no sense. Regards, the new kid on the block looking for a role model.
This is an excellent question.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of us, and the Eric Oakley knows that his style is very unconventional. And in fact, I think Danny, you specifically did a video breaking down his older style or something with his style.
It's fairly similar to his current style.
Yeah. So what would you have to say about this, Danny?
So jumping while X-stepping is a common thing that a lot of amateurs will do. And it most often happens because you're moving too fast. And you know, you see people throw 360s while sprinting down the fairway or down the tee pad, and they try and throw it that hard and the disc goes really far, but that doesn't really translate if you're not at that top level. So if you're moving really fast and you were to take a normal X step, you'd probably just fall over. And so to compensate for that, some people will jump to try and do that. That's what you'll see a lot at the amateur level. At the professional level, it's known as a Brinster hop, if it's done correctly, because Steve Brinster is one of the more notable pros who does that. Miles Seaborn also does it. Devin Owens does it. Eric Oakley. There's a number of people who have a little hop as the X step, but the difference is they don't usually have a lot of forward momentum while they're hopping, and also they don't lean back. A lot of times, if you're moving really fast and you take a jumping X step, you'll see players will lean back, and that will throw off their balance and a lot of the other timing. And so it's not something I would deliberately try to copy. If it sort of happens by virtue of just as you develop your form, I wouldn't necessarily stop it as long as you are taking a slow, deliberate pace. The cadence of an X step is something that I made a video on. The timing of your feet shouldn't be evenly spaced. Shouldn't be like right foot, right foot. Right. It should be the first two steps should be a little bit quicker. So it should be right, left, right. And for most people, if you're trying to have a smooth X step, that's going to be the smoothest way to do it. And then to your point about the left arm, he kind of does the same thing that Paige Pierce and Double G do, where they have their left arm out and they kind of use it as a way to leverage the throw. In general, that's another thing that it works at the pro level, but I wouldn't advise most AMs to try and mimic that just because it's really hard to get a feel for what they're doing. I think the best way to train your left arm is to move your hand down the inside of your left leg so your shoulders stay compressed and you can rotate effectively.
Yes.
All right, good stuff. There you go. If you want an even more unconventional patent pending form, check out Willett Heiser, the pool edition, where I do my triple X 360, triple
X
X
step 360 XX.
Yes. So we're still working on perfecting that, though.
I've been working on the form breakdown video for that since you made it, and it's over my head.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's just too complex.
I'm sorry. We'll try to get what's that? Neil Degrassi. Is that his name? Neil Degrassi. Neil Degrassi. Neil Degrassi. What's his name?
I am not going to save you this time.
What's the guy's name?
I know. I'm not saving you
Neil.
this time.
Neil.
I think Neil Legassi is the closest that you'll ever get.
What is it? What's his name?
Oh my goodness.
Someone tell. I'm going to
No,
look it up.
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, we'll go to as you answer the next question. I'll look it up.
Gosh, that's one of the better ones so far. It's not quite Malachi, but it's on the way.
All right, Ron wants to know about stability. My stability, which is not very good right now. It's important to preface this by saying that I'm asking this question theoretically, seeing as there is an abundance of things that could come into play for this. If you have two discs with the same exact power and glide, but one is a -1.3 and the other is 0.2 for turn and fade, respectively, which one is going to be more stable? Sorry if this question has already been answered in the past. Thank you in advance for any possible insight.
Okay, so yes, very hypothetical, but it also depends on your definition of stable. If by stable you mean neutral, yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson, by the way.
I was close.
Neil Lagasse.
After I said
is
Lagasse,
not
I said
Neil
DeGrasse.
deGrasse Tyson.
Anyway, go for the question.
If you're talking about stable as neutral or stable as overstable, if you're talking, honestly, the one that's going to be straighter in general depends on your speed, right? For me, a disc with -1 turn and 3 fade is not going to be as straight as something with 0 turn and 2 fade. Did you look up Neil deGrasse Tyson videos?
Yeah. How would it pronounce?
Yeah. But that's theoretical. For someone who has just kind of an average arm speed, the -1 is probably going to fly a little bit straighter because it's going to give you a little bit of turn if you don't start it exactly flat. Having that said, it's not. These wouldn't be numbers to judge something on. It would really be you go throw both discs and say this disc works better for me than this one. I like the flight of this for what I'm looking for better than this other one. For me, this is kind of like the difference between an Explorer and an Escape or something like that. Like, I really like both discs. For me, the Explorer is more neutral stable and also high speed, slightly overstable. But because the Escape has that little bit of turn, it may never come back to the left if I hit it hard. So that's where I'm at on that.
I also think that speed is going to have a lot more to do with the stability, right? Because faster discs are going to tend to turn more if they have turn and fade more if they have fade.
Right.
And so the chances of having two discs that are the exact same speed and also like a faster disc that's at 0.2 is going to be really hard to find.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why you tend to see them more at -1.3.
Yes.
All right. This is a topic we haven't talked about in a long time, but it is something that we've talked about before, and this is from Drake on pay-to-play courses. Hey, I just listened to the Hot Take episode on pay-to-play courses. Oh, yeah, we talked about it. I've been thinking about this.
I think we've talked about this before. Oh, yeah.
I've been thinking about this idea for some time now. I want to help get one established in my area, Grand Rapids, Michigan. There is a very large base of disc golfers in that area, and we have roughly 10 to 15 courses in a 45-minute radius. So the disc golf scene is booming. I was hoping y'all could go into more detail on the best way to start this process, mainly if you think it would be better to get in touch with the PDGA, a larger disc golf company, or a community-funded project to fund this idea. I love everything you do and keep it real.
I wish that Eric was here because this is really what he does.
Yeah.
But having that said, I think it's going to be difficult for you to take an existing course and just say, okay, this is pay to play now. That unless you are bringing significant added value to that course, just making a course pay to play isn't really going to do much for you. If you are creating a new course like you're talking about, I would say the best thing that you could do right now is just email us at coursesales@dynamicdiscs.com. We can talk about pricing, T signs, all that stuff, and then talk about getting Eric out there to design it for you. Because I think it's tough to make a pay-to-play course that isn't well designed that makes people want to play it. If a course is pay-to-play and it's not well designed, I'm just going to go play the better designed free course that's near me. And since you're in an area that has so many disc golf courses, you have to bring something that other courses don't have. Whether that's a pro shop on site, whether it's city taken care of, like the canyons at Delwood Disc Golf, that's city maintained. It's not pay to play, but I bet the city would be more willing to take care of it if they had revenue to go along with that. So I think you're going to have to offer something that's different than what you currently have in order to get pay to play going. But honestly, the best place to start, and I would say this if I didn't work here, email Eric. It's what he does for a living. He'll get you taken care of, or at least point you in the right direction.
Next one is from Brian. Disc stability in the wind. ¿Qué pasa, my disc golf sages?
Sages.
Sages? What's a sages? Well, I thought it was adding like a Spanish to it. Sages. Sages, no? I had a question about disc stability.
A sage is a wise person, but he was already past. He was already past the Spanish part because he said my disc golf.
Okay. And how to wind affects it. Let's just imagine from it. It'd be better. It'd be weird if I cared.
Who submitted
I don't care.
this? Neil
Neil deGrasse. Neil of the Grass.
Of the Grass. I think that's where his name comes from.
I had a question about disc stability and how wind affects it. Let's just imagine for a moment that I don't have the arm to get a freedom up to speed, which I totally do. And as a result, it still flies overstable for me, even though it was engineered to be more understable. If I step up to throw into a headwind and I throw that disc, will it still act like an overstable disc for me in that wind? Or due to the aerodynamics of the disc, will it still flip a good bit? Hope that makes sense. Keep it ridiculously real. And God bless.
I think Bobby's got the ridiculous part covered today.
Yeah, buddy.
My disc golf sages.
My sages.
Oh no.
Okay. Sages for the ages.
Yeah. Okay. So to answer your question, the disc acts more overstable as it's thrown more slowly, right? So a speed 14 disc, which is what the Freedom is, if thrown pretty slowly, is still going to act pretty stable, overstable because it's quite slow. Now, the way that it acts is all relative to your arm speed and how much you spin the disc, and then to the wind. So if it's normally pretty overstable and now you're throwing into a 10-mile-an-hour headwind, I think you would expect it to turn about as much as you would something else that flies the same for you at a slower speed, right? Unless your arm speed increases a ton, I don't think you're going to see, oh my goodness, now this is the most understable disc out there. Stability is really relative to the speed at which you're throwing the disc. I have Raiders in my bag that are pretty straight in no wind that would be classified as overstable, but thrown into a headwind, they're understable. Then I have others that are pretty overstable in no wind, straight in a headwind. And so it's really just relative to your arm speed and the speed of the wind.
One of my favorite ways to test a headwind disc, if I have a driver that I'm like bagging as a headwind disc, but it might be new or I'm not like super confident in it, is I have someone who has a lot more arm speed than me throw it, because the discs fly relative to the wind, not relative to the ground. So if I throw it at 60 miles an hour and it does a thing in a 10-mile-an-hour headwind, it's going to throw the same as someone who threw it 70 miles an hour in no wind.
Right. So just find someone who throws 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, usually I just ask Robert to throw it for me.
Yeah.
It works out pretty well.
That's not true. My arm's kind of slow. So, but it's
no, it's Kansas. I can just go throw it in a headwind.
Yeah,
it works.
we literally have those all the time. So,
all right. Next one is what's up, disc golf? Oh, he put a new word, DeGamely.
We've definitely had people say that.
DeGamely?
The Gamely family, yeah, for sure.
I'm a bit of a nerd, and I was wondering how much you guys could tell me about how a disc's design affects its stability. It does very much so. That's why they're different.
Next question.
That's why they're all different. No, he said things like dome, parting line, and other features of the molds. Also, how does DD go about designing new discs? Do you see a gap in your lineup or hear a lot of people request a certain type of disc and then hit the lab or what? Basically, yes.
Yeah,
pretty much that.
Yeah. I get there are probably things you can't tell me, but anything you can say to satisfy my nerdiness is greatly appreciated. You guys have been playing nonstop in my car rides recently, so thanks for all the hard work you do, especially you, Mr. Big Daddy Slick Breeze, the amount of tech and audio and video and so on you do for the sport's incredible. Keep it up, mis amigos. You're welcome, but it's really now Danny and Anthony. I just tell people what to do now, so... But Danny and Anthony are the...
I don't know who he was talking to because you're Cool Daddy Slick Breeze and that says Big Daddy Slick Breeze.
Oh, that's true. That's another guy. He works for another disc manufacturer.
He works in Dimex.
Yeah, Dimex.
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that we could get into here. We'll hit on the very highest level of stuff. Parting line is where the two halves of the mold on a disc where you kind of see the line that separates them. That's called the parting line. The higher that is relative to the mold, the more overstable the disc is going to be in general. So if you have two Raiders side by side that have one has a higher parting line than the other, in general, that Raider will be more overstable. When it comes to dome and flatness, a lot of times dome and high parting lines go together in general. That's not always the rule, but that's how it is sometimes. I'd say that's how it is most of the time. If you find a disc with a lower parting line, even if it's a domey disc, that's going to be more understable just because of the way that the wind interacts with the disc. When you get into drivers that are a little bit slower, sometimes you see the opposite effect as far as dome goes with really flat fairway drivers as opposed to domey fairway drivers. But I think parting line probably has the biggest impact on that more than the dome. The dome or flatness for me is more about feel than it is about the parting line height. I don't know. Is that acceptable?
I mean, that's as far as variations within a disc. As
Yeah.
far as the design of a disc to make it overstable or understable, if you look at something like a Felon compared to something like an Escape or a Vandal, you'll notice that the Felon, the nose, is a lot higher relative to the rest of the wing. And that's because what causes a disc to turn is a larger portion of the air coming over the front of the disc, which forces it down, but because it's spinning, that actually forces the right side down. And so that causes it to turn.
Right.
But also that generates lift. So that's why understable discs tend to have more glide.
Yeah.
So if you just look at the wing and you see whether it's curved down or kind of flat, that's going to tell you whether it's overstable or understable.
Yeah. And you'll find on understable discs, if the underside of the rim is more of a convex look, that's going to be an understable disc, I guess, because it's trying to force the air on top of the disc. Is that correct?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, if you find a disc that you can feel is very, very flat under the rim, not concave, but more convex, like sticking up toward the bottom, that's going to be a more understable disc.
That's also why when players throw with a nose up release, they have a hard time getting discs to turn because there's not air going over the top of the front because it's tilted up.
Nice. Very good.
All right, so Trilogy challenges are still happening, guys, and there are a lot happening this upcoming weekend. I mean, a lot. Florida, Virginia, South Carolina, Wisconsin, New York, Nebraska, Utah, South Dakota, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Montana, Kentucky, Vermont, Michigan, Pennsylvania. I said already, Ohio, New York, Tennessee, all kinds. Oh, I jumped into the weekend after that. So we have a lot happening this weekend. If I mentioned your state or if you're kind of in that area and you're looking for a cool event to play, kind of a casual, relaxed tournament event, these are not sanctioned, but the whole draw is that you get to try new discs. We've got the Bounty, we've got the Latitude 64 SPZ3, and then we've got the Westside Discs BT Hybrid Crown. Now that's not a new mold, but that's a new plastic. So I am getting a lot of questions because a lot of people are learning about these events and they're finding out about these discs. How do you get these 3 discs if you can't play a Trilogy Challenge? Well, you're going to have to wait till they're all done, which is going to be, I think I saw October 4th was the last time you could run one. Once that's done, if we have any leftovers, we'll put them on the site. If we don't have any leftovers, we'll get some more stock runs of those made. But I tell you, with everything going on with disc golf booming as much as it is, it's probably going to be quite a delay. So I would highly recommend that you either get on a Trilogy Challenge and either run one, play one, or find some Facebook Marketplace where people might be posting them to sell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, trilogychallenge.com/events to find one near you.
Great discs this year, by the way.
The Bounty is so good.
We got to throw at the speaking of bounties and experience, that's the next question, is I got to throw the Bounty in the AT&T Stadium. That disc is fantastic.
Dude, it's so good.
I like it.
It's like a slower Maverick.
Yeah.
Which is great because I like the Maverick.
I also like the Maverick.
I also like the Maverick.
I mean, so it's basically the best disc for us.
Anthony says he's the fourth one.
He doesn't.
He's in on the Maverick.
He's never liked throwing the Maverick. In fact, I remember him saying he didn't even like it.
The Bounty's not super fast for a mid-range. It's like most of our mids are 5. It's a 4-speed, but I mean, it's got enough glide. It goes really far. I posted a video on Facebook the other day. I got it pin high on like a 360-foot hole.
Yeah.
which is not normally things that I do with a mid-range just because it has glide.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are liking the bounty at AT&T. This question from Tyler about the disc golf experience at AT&T Stadium. What's up, peeps? I'm a huge fan of the podcast. Thanks for all you do. I recently informed a friend about the disc golf experience in Dallas, and he signed up last minute. He has been raving about how great it was. My question is this: have you all considered doing a disc golf experience stadium tour? For example, doing a 3 to 5 large stadiums in different geographic areas around the nation so more could share in the experience. I think this could be a huge hit. So first of all, yes, disc golf experience at AT&T Stadium took place August 15th. We had a little over 500 people show up. Had a great time. If you want to check it out and see what more it is more about, go to our YouTube channel and check out. We had Eric go on an ace run for tacos, so we had super fun there. That idea has, yes, crossed our mind. However, the logistics behind something like that would be, considering we have all the other things going on. The big thing is that the first time we did the AT&T Stadium, we had a lot of us go down from here, from the warehouse, go down to run it, right? And then we had a few volunteers from the Texas area help us out. Big help, right? But as we grow and as we have other things going on, we can't send out as much people from here, so we have to really rely on the locals to really help us, and those volunteers, and they help us tremendously. But to try to coordinate all that to go to 3 to 5 different stadiums would be, wow. You'd almost have to have like someone full-time do only that and only that, as far as, because it's not simply reaching out to a stadium and saying, hey, you want to do this? Yeah, cool. All right, here's money. Let's do it. There is all kinds of logistics and planning involved. So
right. Well, and take into account as well, it's not that we just call up the stadium and say, we're going to do an event this weekend. Most of the time they say, these are the open times that we have.
right.
And so it's rarely that we could just say, okay, we're going to go to Dallas this day, Houston this day, New Orleans this day, Nashville this day. That's usually not how it works.
So fantastic idea. Yes, I think it would be really cool, but just the resources to do that, just not in it right now. Jake G from Texas, arm speed, form. What's the deal?
Why'd I do that?
Why'd I do that? What's good, Disc Golf Answer Man,
Is
fam?
this Jake Gyllenhaal?
It is not.
Oh.
Well, no, maybe I'm sorry.
Who's to say?
Yeah. Jump to conclusions. I've jumped. What's that? What's that from?
It's a jump to conclusions, Matt. That's from Office Space.
Yeah. Okay. What's good, Disc Golf Answer Man fam? I've only recently gotten into the podcast, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I've listened to about 30 or 40 episodes.
What's
That's
up?
it?
Hey, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah,
I don't know if I
wouldn't
wouldn't qualify that as gotten into it. Okay. So anyway, just kidding.
Casuals.
So to say,
So casual.
So to say that I'm enjoying your podcast is a bit of an understatement. I've never really listened to podcasts before. Oh, that's cool. Moving on. I've only gotten into disc golf around a year ago. I picked up an Eric McCabe starter set with a Judge, Truth, and Escape. I mostly just threw around and had a good time, but as of late, I've decided I want to get better. Well, you've come to the right place, because Dynamic Disc, we're here to help you become a better disc golfer. And start working on my form and trying different discs. I pretty much always threw forehand.
Did you wink when you said that?
Did I what?
Did you wink when you said that?
No, I didn't.
You're supposed to, and then in post we add the little. Nailed it.
Like that?
Yeah, you're actually winking with both eyes.
Oh.
Did you?
That's just called blinking. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's just blinking. It's actually less effective than winking. Hey.
I pretty much always threw forehand, and lately I've been working on my backhand. I picked up an Underworld recently, and I measured a backhand throw. It felt pretty good leaving my hand. It flew flat and straight, but it only went about 200 feet. My question is my issue my form possibly? Do I just not have enough arm speed? Where could I get tips on my form? I know there could be 1,000,001 issues, though. Keep it real, y'all. Much love. Well, before they give you some tips, we have an excellent resource on our YouTube channel, actually. There are, I don't know how many, but there's a lot of videos out there that cover all kinds of topics. I would imagine that your topic could be found there. I would just go to our YouTube channel and search arm speed or search form or something like that, and you'll see something, I'm sure, from a while back or even as recently from Danny, where he breaks things down really good. So check those out for sure. But what do you guys have to help him today?
Right. So if someone is trying a different form than they're normally used to, and especially if they're going from forehand to backhand, a lot of times their big problem is that they kind of swoop when they're pulling the disc through, which makes the disc go nose up. And when the disc goes nose up, it's really hard for it to travel very far. Yeah, especially if you're new to it and you're just learning. What can happen is, Danny talks about it quite a bit. It's called rounding when you let your when your shoulder is leading the throw instead of letting your elbow get into place. It's really hard to get the disc flat at that point as well. So that kind of like that compounds a couple of issues for you. One is that you're not getting into the power pocket like you should, but two, that you're likely kind of swooping and getting the disc nose up, and then you just can't really get much distance from that, and you can't really get a proper flight out of a disc that's very nose up. So I would absolutely do what Bobby said. Go and check out the how-to series on YouTube. Also type in just Danny Lindahl nose up. I know that he's got a video out there that can help you.
He's got a few.
He's got a video,
a few to help you.
Where
out
he
with
just walks around with his nose up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he just says stuff like peasants.
Yeah.
And then he keeps walking.
Casuals.
But no, seriously.
Bring me my water.
Yeah. But it's likely that the disc is nose up. You will develop more arm speed as you play, but getting the disc more level to slightly nose down is going to make the biggest difference for you early. Because if an underworld is only flying 200 feet, it's probably just kind of going straight and then finishing left. If you know, as long as you're an adult, you've probably got decent muscle structure, you should be able to throw it farther than that.
Yeah, I will say a lot of newer players, they confuse arm speed and form, thinking that like I think arm speed is kind of perceived as a strength thing rather than a efficiency thing.
Yeah.
And I will tell you right now that throwing far in disc golf has almost nothing to do with physical strength.
Mm-hmm.
Physical strength is going to help a lot with preventing injuries and endurance on the course. But I saw a video of Eagle right before throwing like 600 feet, obviously, because it's Eagle. He trying to do push-ups, and he did like 11.
Right.
So, yeah, being super strong doesn't really help you with throwing far.
Right. And let me add on to that, too. I think this is something that you talk about a lot, Danny, is that arm speed doesn't necessarily just mean going fast. Because a lot of people think if you need to get more arm speed, then you speed up everything. You speed up your feet, you speed up your reach back, and you start fast with your with the hit, starting from once you've reached back all the way to follow through. And everything in the disc golf throw is about acceleration. It's not about starting fast and finishing fast. It's not a sprint. You are starting slow and then getting your speed up quickly, kind of like a whip where you start slow and then pop at the end. That's kind of how the acceleration of a disc golf.
Should we start? Should we stop calling it arm speed then?
No, because it's still arm speed, but more accurately, it's like acceleration speed. But at the end of the day, like the arms that move the fastest at the end, they're the ones that are throwing the disc the farthest.
Gotcha. Yeah. So here's a little debate question on plastic stability. We've talked about this before, but we'll touch base on it really quick. I've searched online hoping to find answers to this question, but it seems that everyone thinks differently. What is your opinion? Which plastic in your lineup is the most to least stable? I mean, I think you'll have a general. I bet you if you were to poll people, I would bet you to agree. You have probably 80% of the people agree on one spectrum, and then you'd have the rest say a little bit different. Right? Because, I mean, but for the most part, most stable plastic would be what? Your Moonshines and your
Lucid
X's, and then you'd go to the Lucid, and then the Fusion, and then, of course, you get down to the Biofusion plastic.
Hybrid kind of sits in between Lucid and Fusion.
Yeah. Really similar in there.
Yeah.
And then once you're into the base plastics, especially if you have like a Prime Defender or something like that, it's going to start off insanely overstable. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is the most overstable disc I've thrown. But Prime plastic is intended to work in over time and be more cost efficient. So it's going to start off a little bit more overstable, but work in pretty quickly. So classic blend, classic soft. Those are usually about the same. I would say soft maintains its stability for just a little bit longer, but it's not. I mean, it's minuscule difference.
Then, of course, you got your Chameleons, your, what's the other?
Chameleon falls in like the same as Lucid.
What's the other
Lucid
fancy
Fusion.
thing we have? Not Chameleon. Glimmer, that's right. And then you got your Glimmer. So basically, I would say just find you one or two discs, get out, throw them.
Yeah, do it. Just do it.
Throw.
Man.
See what works for you.
Hey, don't let your dreams be dreams.
Yeah. We got him and Andreas with another question comparing.
How do you say his last name?
I'm not even going to try.
Dang it.
Not even good. Sorry. If I had to, I'd say Bjortoft.
I think that's actually really close.
Bjortofts. Tofts. I had to add that S.
The
in there.
O has an umlaut like Torbjorn. So
Like who?
one of the characters on Overwatch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Comparing discs. Hey, disc golf fans, man, I wonder how the Trespass, Sheriff, and Raider compare to each other when someone uses. What can someone use the different discs for, and which plastic do you like in each mold
Sure.
the most?
Sure. So, in order of stability, I think you're going to find that the Raider is the most overstable. There's no doubt about that. The Sheriff, I think the Sheriff and Trespass are pretty close to one another, actually, in stability. It's just that the Sheriff goes farther for most people.
I've never been able to work the Sheriff into my bag.
It's a little, like, if you're not...
Like, I love the Trespass. I like my lightweight Raider.
Right. If you're not throwing... It's hard to put a good number on this, but I would say if you're not throwing like 330, 340, 350, you're not going to get the full kind of extent of the flight out of something like a Sheriff. It's just going to act overstable because it's fast.
Gotcha.
But hold on, I want to see what Anthony said here.
said-
Okay, so he says Sheriff is more sensitive to nose angle than the Trespass.
I thought he said he was more sensitive.
Anthony is more sensitive across the board. Yeah. He just went to the bathroom to wipe his tears before.
Right, yeah.
Before,
Tears of a clown.
So anyway, all that to say, Raider most overstable, Sheriff and Trespass close to the same stability. If you have more arm speed, I used to get more turn out of the Sheriff than I did the Trespass. The Trespass was pretty straight, maybe a little bit of right turn. Sheriff was almost always hyzer flip to ride to the right, and if I gave it enough air, enough to get back. I like the Fusion plastic for the Raider personally, and Lucid for the Sheriff and Trespass, but that's just personal preference. I think they're very close. The Lucid Raider is more overstable than the Fusion. That's one big difference to note.
Gotcha. All right, so one of the cool, exciting things we have going on recently is the squad, the Dynamic Disc Squad. Now,
Yes.
Yes. This is where you do different challenges on social media to earn points and stuff like that.
Not just on social media. You can do them in a lot of places.
Can you do them at Torchy's Taco?
You can.
I'm in. I'm squad.
Yeah, okay, cool. You actually won't get any rewards.
Oh, that's true because I work
Sorry.
here. Tell us more about the squad, Robert.
But yeah, if you haven't joined the squad already, you can just go to dynamicdisc.com/squad. You can sign up for free. It gets you rewards for tasks that you do. So some of them are on social media. Some of them are just submitting pictures and reviews to our website. There was one recently for the CBS Sports Network coverage where you print out a flyer and just put it out at your local course on the bulletin board, maybe at a local disc golf shop, something like that, so that more people can find out about it. As we talked about before, we know that kind of the hardcore disc golfers are going to watch the coverage, or at least we hope that they will. And I think one of the cool things that I've seen is a lot of the major manufacturers, not outside of Dynamic Discs, are really excited about this as well, and they're posting about it as well, which is really cool for them to, the event's called the Dynamic Discs Open, and we don't tend to promote across companies that much, but it's been really cool to see manufacturers across the board be excited about this coverage for the potential that it has on for disc golf in the future. So plenty of tasks, plenty of ways that you can earn rewards. And I check each of those challenges every day and approve or deny the tasks that people put in. So if you haven't done so, go to dynamicdisc.com/squad. You can get some free stuff if you do some stuff. It's great.
Excellent. All right, next question comes from Jordan Gresling, a distant cousin of Ryan Gosling. No,
That
is not how it
that
works.
says Grusling.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Gresling.
Oh, so I just added a Z sound.
Mm-hmm. That says Legacy.
Short forehand.
Neil Legacy, like Emerald Legacy.
That's where I got the mix up. Everybody's got gas and grass.
Dude, the astrophysicist meets professional chef. Neil Legacy.
I bet you his food is out of this world.
Dang.
All right.
Do something like that.
Worlds collide.
And
Good morning.
totally redeem yourself.
Good morning, EMAC, Robert, and Slick Breeze. First, I would like to say how amazing this year's disc releases are. I just played my local Trilogy challenge, and it was a blast. I thought you guys overhyped the bounty, but when I threw it the first time, it flew perfectly straight for a birdie.
Yeah, we would never lie to you. Ever.
It is going instantly in my bag. Also, the Sapphire is highly underrated and way more stable than you think compared to the Diamond. My question, I have been improving my forehand. I can throw drivers, and now I can even throw mid-ranges smooth. But with distances inside 100 feet, I get flutter, and I cannot get rid of. I cannot get rid of. I know it's been debated on before, but what are some good tips? I do put the disc all the way into my Perlicue,
That's what it looks like to me.
and that helped with mids, but don't forget to keep it real. Oh, I'm going to keep it real. I don't know what a Perlicue is.
I'm about to Google it right now. The space between one's forefinger and thumb. Right here.
The area.
That's what that's called. Now you know.
The space between one's forefinger and thumb.
Dude, I never knew that.
Never knew
My
that's called
mind
the
is
Perlicue.
legitimately blown.
I thought it was like
you
an
guys know that?
autocorrect. Did you know
Tony,
that
Danny, did you guys know that? Of course not. Like, why would we ever know that? Dude, I'm stoked that we just found that out. Okay, so anyway, to answer your question about
if you want to know how it's spelled, just Purlicue.
Yeah.
The more you know. Ding, ding, ding,
I was just thinking of that star flying across. Okay, so when you get to throwing up shots inside 100 feet, there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. One, you can work on jump putting and just absolutely send a jump putt, and that works for some people. That's great. I like to have more of a throw inside 100 feet, and I think probably the issue that you're dealing with is you are trying to be too slow with your acceleration, right? Because you think that, and this is an assumption without watching you throw, but you think that, oh, this is a short throw, so I don't really have to accelerate. I just kind of toss it, or I don't know. I assume that's probably what you're doing. The thing about a 100-foot shot is it takes a lot of touch, but that still requires acceleration. So when I'm throwing short up shots, instead of slowing down my acceleration, I try to just shorten my reach back a little bit. That's what works for me. It doesn't work for everybody like that. But if I'm throwing a 200-foot shot, I'm going to get, not quite a full reach back, but mostly full, and just do like a nice smooth follow through. So if I'm going to throw a 100-foot up shot, I won't reach back quite as far, maybe just to like my left shoulder, a little bit inside of that. That's what works for me. And then if you're getting a lot of flutter, that also means that you are not matching your angle of reach back to hit point to follow through with one another. So you may be trying to, maybe you're turning your wrist over late, and that's causing the disc to flutter. Maybe you're reaching back too high and then finishing flat, and that's going to cause the disc to flutter as well. So that's called off-axis torque. Usually you see it a lot more on faster shots, but I understand seeing it on putters even at shorter distances. What do you think?
Exactly what you think.
Yeah.
Besides grip, maybe.
Yeah,
If you're trying to use a power grip at shorter distances, it can be a problem. I use a control grip from
same.
that range, which is it's similar to a power grip. For a power grip, you have all four fingers curled around the rim. I just curl my pointer finger, my pinky finger, and I fan the other two out across the middle of the disc, and that just reduces the amount of power that I need to get the disc to leave my hand.
Right. And maybe just gripping it too tight as well.
Yeah.
You don't need to hold the disc super hard to throw it well from 100 feet.
Yes, but how far is it into your Perlicue?
It is that far into my actually, it's not very far into the Perlicue now that I think
mine
about
does.
it.
My discs don't even touch mine.
Yeah, it's more into the
Mine's
base of
on
my
the
pointer
top.
finger.
Mine's on the top of the disc.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
That's in the Perlicue.
Muy interesante. Dude, if your disc is all the way into your Perlicue, then maybe you're holding it with your thumb and your this is the only way that I can see that you would have it all the way in there.
That's almost sideways.
Right. So think about, and this may be I'm glad you said that. Think about pinching the disc between your thumb and your index finger, or like the knuckle of your thumb and your index finger. That's where I usually hold the disc. That's what works for me.
So this is a word that I need. You know how like at the base of your pointer finger, how like your hand there's like a little bunch of skin there?
Yeah.
Right at the base.
Uh-huh.
I always put that on top of the disc when I grip, and that helps to get the nose down. That's a good part of developing a power
Yeah.
grip. I need a name for that.
Yeah.
That little fleshy bump right at the base. It's in your palm. It's
just north of the pearly Q.
depends
We'll call
on
it the quali cue.
the quali cue.
That's not good.
That's not what it is. Anyway, yeah, have that
like that
part
you're
of your
not pleased
pointer
with
finger.
You just made up a ridiculous word and then are not pleased that we didn't accept it immediately. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so make sure that part of your pointer is on top of the disc.
Yeah. Super good.
All right, good deal. Next one is from Chris. Understable mid ranges. Hello, friends. I'm looking for some advice about mid ranges. You see, I love my EMAC Truth. I love my Verdict. They feel and fly fantastic. I do not love my Warrant nearly as much.
Huh.
It's great for big mid-range turnovers, but it doesn't feel quite right and can be pretty finicky if I'm trying to throw anything other than a big turnover. So I'm looking for something that can fill the gap between the Warrant and the EMAC. I'm not particularly comfortable powering down on discs and prefer to throw them with a bit more speed and let the disc do the work. Do you think something like an Evidence is the way to go, or would taking the time to break in a Biofusion Truth or a Biofusion EMAC be more likely to get me where I want to be? Or do I step up and host I think you're answering your own question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I step up and host a Trilogy Challenge so I can get my hands on a bounty? You should host a Trilogy Challenge, and then however many people you think will sign up, order 10 more packs, and you'll have all kinds of bounties to practice with.
I bet you the results will be bountiful.
Hey-o! All right, so what do you
apologize
guys
for
think?
nothing.
Evidence or any other suggestions for a something between a Warrant and an EMAC?
Sure. I've got a suggestion.
Yes.
So the Warrant is outside of the Patrol. It's the most understable mid-range that we have. It's quite understable. If you want to throw it straight, at least for me, I have to start it on a lot of hyzer to get it to go straight, and I can't throw it very hard. It's great for those big turnovers, but I don't always want to throw that. So I'll tell you the disc that I currently have in my bag for that and the one that I think will replace it. Right now in that slot, I throw the Fuse. And it's either an Opto X Fuse for really super straight shots or just an Opto Fuse for slight hyzer to flat and then just a little right turn. Like almost straight, but just tailing to the right. That's what I love the Fuse for. Really easy to throw. Really slow spinning, so it's pretty forgiving. I like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if the bounty takes its place in my bag. A little bit shallower. It has a bead under there. And just so easy to throw. Oh, my goodness. So easy to throw. So those are the two that I think are in between the EMAC and the Warrant. That's what I would try out.
Seconded.
Next one is from Caleb. Landing under a bridge on hole 3 at Northwood Golds this last weekend. My approach shot landed underneath the bridge that crosses over to the green. My card agreed that I could play directly above on top of the bridge, but we were not certain of the ruling. Is this legal?
If you can take a stance, then you need to play from there. Yes?
Yeah. If there's playable surfaces can exist on top of one another,
Right.
which means if your disc is on a playable surface, you have to take a stance there. If your disc is like in a crack underneath and you can't, then you can go on top of it.
Right.
But if you can take a stance there, you have to take a stance behind
Can
your
I
disc.
take a stance on genetically modified foods
Yes.
if it's on there?
Yes.
Is that the kind of stance I can
Yes,
take?
that's actually the perfect time. If you have like a megaphone
Right. Take a stance
Your
right
disc
here.
lands under a bridge. You stand on top of the bridge. and
on
say,
top of a soapbox as well.
That's right.
There you go. Yeah.
I am
So-
firmly against GMOs.
Right. I am taking a stance.
No, you have to say it
No,
more
you
like
have to
I did.
say it. Yeah. Okay. Does someone have to second it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you have to. No, but I declared it.
I declared it.
You can't just say bankruptcy. Anyway.
All right.
But anyway, if you can stand
Yes.
underneath it, you can play from. You need to play from it. If you cannot establish a stance, then you play on top. No.
All right. This is last question, right? We've been going about an hour. Last question is from Sam P. on the mental game.
What's up?
You ready for this, Sam? We're about to blow your mind.
Really?
Hey, DeGam. I'm finding difficulty executing shots when I play with other people, even in casual games. Just play by yourself. By myself. Oh, by myself, I play pretty decent.
See, that was a great suggestion. You're welcome.
You're welcome. When other people start getting in the mix, most of my game mechanics go right out the window. I want to play well and even beat them if possible. Oh, dang. he almost is giving himself the answer. I mean, if that's your anyway, I'm sorry. Am I trying too hard and getting in my own way? Any tips would be appreciated. Thanks for all you guys do. Also, I hit my first ace within the last month in an EMAC Truth.
Nice.
Whatever, favorite mid-rate ever. So yeah, what I was pausing was he says, I want to play well and even beat them if possible. My thinking is based on this. If that's what I have a feeling what's happening is probably you are emphasizing or you are worrying too much on your mistakes when you're around other people. You're worrying about probably what they think about. You're worried about the fact that, oh, I just screwed up. Now I'll never beat them like I want to beat them and play well. And I would imagine that's part of what's going on.
Yeah. I think that this is a common phenomenon, especially in individual sports. When you're playing by yourself, okay, sidetrack just for a second. Have you ever videoed yourself throwing a disc golf disc?
I have.
Okay. And when you are throwing it, you think you look a certain way. You're like, you throw a shot and you're like, dude,
I look fantastic.
yeah, I crushed that.
Right.
And then you watch the video and you're like, oh.
No, typically it's a video that ends up on YouTube and everybody else criticizes
Okay.
my
Okay.
throw.
Okay.
Sorry, Bobby. I'll delete my ults.
I'm
real quick.
sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. But that's how it is for me. I think a lot of people feel that way, that we think that we look a certain way. And then when we see it, it's kind of like the curtain is pulled back and you're like, oh my goodness, that doesn't look as cool as I thought.
Right.
Okay. So that is at play. Right. But then there's also something else where if you're playing by yourself, there's no pressure. If you shoot 5 over, who cares? You're just there by yourself. But if you shoot 5 over and your friends all shoot 5 under, there's a chance that you could be embarrassed by that or that they'd give you a hard time about that. So there is a little bit of added pressure anytime you play in front of people. What I would suggest that you do is play in front of people more often. Get yourself that experience. And I think this applies to every level of competition in disc golf. It's really hard to train for it outside of just doing it, okay? The first time I made a lead card in an open tournament, I was terrified and I shot awful. Despite having the exact same skill set that I had the first round that allowed me to shoot well enough to get on that lead card. Now I'm in front of people who I know played well, who are expecting all of us to play well. And so there's a little bit of added mental pressure to that. And I played poorly, but I wouldn't trade that experience because it gives you a chance to learn, right? That I believe that getting better at disc golf, especially in highly competitive circles, you really only learn by being there. It's hard to just show up your first lead card ever. Let's say it's an A tier for some reason and just shred. It's probably not going to happen because you're going to feel a whole lot of external pressure. So learn by experience. You have to put yourself in that situation more and more often. And then 2, when I'm on the disc golf course, I'm really just thinking about what I'm doing. I don't really care about what anybody. I mean, if I'm out with friends and we're all having a good time, great. Let's joke around. No big deal. We're gonna have a good time. And even if they crush me, even if they beat me by 10, whatever. I went and had fun with my friends. But if I'm playing a tournament and I'm staying competitive, I'm just kind of gonna focus on what I'm doing. I will notice what other people are doing because in the rules, I'm required to be present and see what's happening on the card. But if I'm not throwing, I'm not intently focused on what other people are doing. And I think you'd be surprised by how little other people think about what you're doing. There's this phenomenon that happens with people too, in that you think that people think about you a lot more than people actually think about you. That's just a fact, right?
I think about you a lot, Robert.
And I think that you think about me way more than that. So it's proven. No, but like if you hear a conversation, somebody says something about like, oh, this video and something. Bobby might be like, oh, were they talking about a video that I made? But chances are they probably weren't. But we always kind of think that they are thinking about us. And so that even adds to the pressure that we feel in those already pressure-filled situations. The best thing for you to do is focus on your own game and remember that people aren't as concerned about what you're doing as you are. Play your game. And if you're out with friends and you want to beat them, have fun. And then if you beat them, cool. But if you don't, man, there wasn't anything on the line. Just pride. There was no money. There's no ratings. Just Go have fun and learn from that experience. And as you have that experience more often, you're going to be able to improve more quickly.
Perfect. Great answer.
I got a little philosophical on it.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
good.
That's how I think. That's how I try to improve.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel so that you always know when we go live with Disc Golf Answer Man, and that you always know when we put out a new video. We have more exciting videos coming up that are in the queue, so super excited about that. Also, if you want to be part of our community, you can text us at 620-312-3225. If you want to be part of any new release stuff that gets put out early, you can hashtag new release, send that text. Or if you want to know about Disc Golf Answer Man, you can text DGAM. If you're already part of our community and you're not part of those groups, just send that text into that number and you'll be automatically added. I send out little motivational things. I'm going to get with some of our players so they can send out little tips and tricks and stuff like that. So, yeah. 620-312-3225. Be part of our community. All right, YouTube, hang tight for hot takes. If you're listening to this via audio, then we will see you on the next episode for Disc Golf Hot Takes.
But we should see you watching the CBS Sports Network coverage.
Yes.
Wednesday through Saturday, 7 p.m. is Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. You can join us for the companion stream if you'd like, but if not, watch the coverage, share it with your friends. Check
Invite family and friends. Let them learn about disc golf. Thanks, guys.
Am I stopping the YouTube stream now?
You're stopping the recording.
Oh, I stopped the recording a minute ago.
Oh.
Well, like after you finished the text thing, because you said, "All right, YouTube," and so I stopped it then.
That's fine.
Yeah. So YouTube, hang on. Anybody need to take a little break?
I need to run.
You need to run?
Yeah.
I
Go
just
ahead.
gotta go pee.
Just getting a jog in.
Mhm.
All right, YouTube. That gives us a few minutes. If you got a quick question, put them in the chat, and we'll try to answer them for you. Any question at all, we will give you our answer. Wow, 330 watching.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We were just up at 340.
That was the peak. What does it give the peak yet?
Yeah. 339.
Wonder what the deal was. I mean, I think that's fantastic.
Matthew says, "How's Rusco?" Rusco's good.
He good.
We haven't heard a lot from because he's busy.
He busy.
And baby's great. Sounds like baby and mom are fantastic and healthy. Great spot. Jared says, "Why is the Explorer so good?"
It's a good question.
It just is. These are the facts. What is the meaning of the universe?
What is it? 42?
42. Yeah, that's right. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That sounds like
Neil Lagasse.
if they named a burger after him or something.
Dude, yeah, Spangles has the new Neil deGrasse Tyson. Best place to find clinics for disc golf. Right now, I bet they're a little few and far between, but look up Eric and Tina Oakley on Facebook. They're always running clinics all over the place. I've got a flippy mid-range. When should I throw it? When you need it to go right. Or super straight, you can start on hyzer. What is an ideal top tax rate? Thank you for that. Any tips on getting forehands nose down? Brandon, I don't know how you grip your forehands. I like to grip them so that the pads of my fingers aren't against the underside of the disc, but more turned toward the rim. And then I make the motion kind of like a flag waving in the wind or like a slapping motion instead of a turning my wrist over motion. That helps me to get the disc more neutral, personally.
The way I think about it is you want to be like touching your other, like the back of your other finger.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to imagine, but if you think about, put your index finger on the back of your middle finger's fingernail.
Tommy says, "Bobby, please pronounce my name again, please."
Lejeune.
Leon.
Leon.
Tommy Lejeune.
Leon. That makes me think of Pepe Le Meow. Le Meow.
Pepe
Le Meow.
Justin said, "Will the paratrooper be hitting the DD site on August 3rd?" Well, it is August 25th. So
yes.
No. But it will be hitting the DD site sometime soon.
Very soon.
Oh, my bad. Yep.
I don't know if YouTube is ready for this, but I worked on a different scene that we can use for hot takes.
I can't wait.
This is going to be different. Okay, 3,
I'm
2,
excited.
1. Pow.
Boom. Look at
That's what the other side of the media studio looks like.
that.
I don't see anything.
And you can see both at the same. That's because
Well, that's because you're on a delay.
the electrons have to travel to the thing.
Aaron
Does
says
it have to go way up in the outer space and come way down?
all the way.
Aaron says what in my form could be causing groin pain?
It's too big of a last step. Turning around backwards as you X step.
Yeah, I was
Moving
gonna
too
say that's too
fast.
big of a last step for sure.
Oh,
Anthony, can you scoot
Oh yeah, I can move. I just
Isn't
don't want
that
people
fancy,
to see
Bobby?
me.
just a bit? Thank you.
we'll critique it afterwards.
Alternatively, I could just flip between these two scenes really fast.
I like having all four on. Or yeah, personally, I don't really care though. I mean, it's up to you guys. You guys are the creators.
Do you want my gig?
I mean, should I leave it
keep
on the other
real?
one?
Do you want me to keep it real?
Should I leave it on that one or flip back and
Remember,
forth?
I'm nose sensitive.
I smell things.
It just seems like a lot of wasted real estate.
Here?
Yeah, with the 4. I mean, you've got a lot of white space where it could be just stuff. I
Yeah.
thought, can you not just do
Well, the problem is I have to scale everything up real far. Here, I can actually do this
Ah.
real time. Nobody's going to be ready for it.
But you know what I'm saying? Us on top, us on bottom, and you on bottom, or something
Yeah,
like that.
if I scale it up like this, then there's not enough room for us at the bottom. Ooh, that messed up.
You're saying all this without us being able to see.
No, you'll be able to see it. Hang on.
Darby said, "What is the best course in Kansas, and why is it Clover Cliff Ranch?" Clover Cliff is a great course. Super fun. What's up?
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, like it's.
You can't like.
I can crop it, yeah, but it's still it doesn't fit.
It doesn't
easily.
do like what's the word I'm looking for? In other words, it can't. You don't. I don't know what the word I'm trying to
Scale?
say. No, not scale, but like have mask. They can't mask it in a sense to where.
I'm sure we could do that. It would just be easier not live.
Right, that's true.
I mean, I can do it.
Oh, that actually works like that.
With just you and Robert peeking
Move-
just barely over the top.
Hey guys.
There, like that, but go down.
Let me see here. I can do this. I can just crop the top.
Or, whoa, Danny! Danny was all big.
Crop top.
Well, can you show less of you guys and
Yep.
more of us?
I'm working on it. How's that?
What DD disc do you guys like for an overstable mid range? I throw the Justice for super overstable and Verdict for kind of overstable.
I am firmly verdict gang, and
Huh.
the Clemens verdicts are primo.
I feel like,
they're
I
like
feel like we
really
barely
good.
can like we're in the
Yeah.
we're in a like the Titanic and the water's filling up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with doing it like this. There's no. It kind of clips into Anthony's head too.
That's not bad right there
If I
though.
do this,
Cody says this is some Wilson home improvement stuff.
I know. We'll just keep this. We'll just keep it. Just keep it like this, like it
Okay.
is right now. This is fine. You can mess with it later.
Sounds good. Should I hit record?
Eric says decent now, so there's your good feedback for the day.
All right.
that's what I shoot for.
All right, yeah, go ahead, hit it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're bringing us down. Look at Azra. All right, ready?
Yep.
All right. Welcome. Thank you. Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes, where the cakes are better than the takes.
That's true.
I have yet to receive any.
I know
cake,
we don't
by
have
the
any
way.
cake. One of these times we're gonna
Yeah.
bring some cakes.
I was told there would be cake.
Yes.
All right, so this is Disc Golf Hot Takes, where we discuss different topics and we argue about them. Yeah, and we'll see what we come up with. This week is Anthony. We're gonna try a new little formula in this.
Anthony.
We're gonna have 2 topics. We're gonna try see what happens.
Yes.
Let's go with the first one, Anthony. What is
Okay.
your disc golf hot take?
Yes. My disc golf hot take. We're going to talk about ratings, everybody's favorite thing. No one talks about them, right? So we're going to argue.
Oh.
Right now, your lowest round rating drops off of your rating. That's BS.
Wait.
Nope.
That's not true.
If it's outside your standard
Okay.
deviation,
Just so that it's not just because if anyone's watching and they're like,
Sure.
I don't have any that drop. It's because Go
yes,
ahead.
okay. Your lowest, if it's absurdly low, will drop.
If it's below 2.5 standard deviations below your rating.
See, this is too
Yeah.
much math. For
Yeah,
me.
see, that's all the part at the end of the commercial where they say it really fast.
Yeah, true.
That's all that stuff.
Okay.
I am saying right now that instead of that, we should take your lowest whole score from a round. So if you normally average, within a stroke or 2 of par, and you come away from a par 4 with a quadruple bogey, you took an 8.
Oh.
Take that out.
Huh. Okay. So golf does
lost.
something like this when you put in hole by hole scores into your handicap, because if you play, all right, well, let's say your handicap at a course is a 12, and on the most difficult hole, you get a triple bogey. Since it's such a difficult hole, the handicap system will be nice to you and write it down as, let's say it's a par 4, you got a 7, it'll write it down as a 6. So for a little bit better accuracy on your handicap.
Okay.
So I've heard about that.
Yes. I was unaware of that, but I'm saying.
But it's the same sort of thing.
Yes, exactly. People have heard call it like the fluke round or the bogus round or whatever. Far more often, those rounds come down to just a bad hole,
right.
Whether it be you got a bad kick or a bad roll or wind and wet in the water, whatever. An entire round of bad is probably you just playing bad that day.
Okay.
But if you have one solid round, and then on hole 18, you slip on the tee pad, then you throw OB off of a tree kick, and then it rolls, you miss your putt, cage, roll OB. That doesn't typically happen. So I'm saying instead of the lowest round rating, outside your standard deviation, again, it should be the worst hole of the round rather than an entire round.
Do you always get it reduced?
If it's outside the standard deviation. If you shot...
If it's outside your 2.5 times your standard
correct, yeah.
deviation.
If you get 17 birdies and a par, you don't lose the par.
Okay.
Scores stay the same, just like they do with rounds. It's not going to change who wins and loses tournaments, just ratings.
So do you do that until it gets you back inside 2.5 standard deviations?
No.
Okay, it's just one hole, and you say you take off a shot.
Sure, because
10 ratings points.
Yeah, I think outside of the worst offender, so you don't go out there and shoot. Oh, I got a 17 on this hole, a 12 on that hole, a 15 on that one.
Okay.
I think.
So what you're saying is like an
uncharacteristically bad score.
Correct.
Yes.
What if you have your Caddyshack moment and you have like an amazing?
Yeah,
does it not balance it out?
There's a question about that in chat. I want to clarify. Darby says the fluke round rule. He said, doesn't it also apply to uncharacteristically good rounds? No, it does not. It'd be awesome if this happened a lot. But if you shoot around 2.5 standard deviations above your rating, it stays. You're good. You don't want to be punished for playing well. If you shoot around 2.5 standard deviations below your rating, then that's the one that drops. However, the way that you're kind of punished is that shows you're kind of a swingy sort of player. So if you are rated 1,000 and you go out and shoot 1070 some weekends and you go out and shoot 930 other weekends, yes, that averages to 1,000, but that's a lot different than a player who goes out and shoots 1020 some weekends and 980 some weekends. So your standard deviations are at that point wider, so your scores actually have to be even worse to drop.
And with it being one hole, to be 2.5 times outside of your standard deviation in the positive, you'd have to ace a par 5.
Yeah, to get it counted against you.
Yes, exactly. For it to get dropped, it would have to be something almost impossible.
Okay.
I don't understand ratings at all, so I'm just going to disagree just to be a butthead.
I'm
just going to say no.
The biggest argument against this, I would guess, would be the logistics, right? How would you go through every scorecard and find which was the worst hole? But with the PDGA live scoring and UDisc being more and more popular, I think that could be an advantage to live scoring. If you play in a tournament that doesn't have live scoring, don't worry about it. But if you play in a tournament that does, where they can see your whole scores for everything, I don't hate the idea. Because, I mean, how many people have blow-up holes? They're like, man, I was doing so well, except I had that one hole where I got like a 19.
Oh.
And then...
I was just thinking, hey, Temp. Temp just poked his head around the corner because this happens to us in golf all the time. Like, we'll be shooting pretty well and then triple, double out of nowhere. At Herman Hill. No, Oak Park in Wichita. I went, I don't know, like 1005, 995, the 2 rounds that I played there. But the 995 had like an 8 on one of the par 4s because I threw OB, I think, 3 times.
Ouch.
So yes, I would have definitely accepted the help on that. However, under your guidelines, that wouldn't drop. If it's within your standard deviations, then you're fine.
Correct.
Then it counts regardless.
Yeah, that stays the same as what they already have. I'm not saying worst hole per round is dropped, period. No, it still has
Sure.
to be outside the same standard deviation that you already
Gotcha.
have.
Gotcha. So okay, so then your bad rounds actually still count against you,
Correct.
just not as bad.
Unless if you were to go out and shoot a 775,
Right. Thank
then
you.
your worst hole might drop unless you just went out and shot double bogey, double bogey, double bogey, everything.
Right.
In which case those all stay. But if you're out there shooting par, bogey, bogey, and then you had
Right.
a 14 on a hole, that's gone.
Sure.
You might have to adjust the 2.5 standard deviations
That's
thing
what I was going to suggest.
because with a
Two
rating,
point 2.5.
Yeah.
maybe because
Just
with
make it
ratings you
pi.
have a more
Yeah,
granularity. That's the word I'm
2
looking
pi.
for. You have a lot more variation,
Right.
right? Because you could shoot a 901, a 902, a 903, but in on a hole it's just a 2 or a 3 or a 4. So it might have to be one standard deviation or something
Sure,
like that.
Sure. Yeah, that's all the logistics that I'm sure would come once it's implemented and people figure it out.
Okay, so Am I Romantic said that's my argument to this is how often does one hole actually tank you to 2.5 standard deviations below your rating? And the question is not often. I mean, sorry, the answer to that is not often. And that's what I think you're getting at is I've been the beneficiary of this a few times where that it happened, I think, last year or 2 years ago. I was rated 1004. I played a 3-round tournament and just played like absolute garbage the 3rd round. Couldn't get anything going. Like I didn't throw. I didn't throw as in like I didn't intentionally play poorly. I just played poorly. That's just how it worked. I ended up shooting a 941. It got dropped from my rating. So for the event, even though I didn't cash, I averaged like, I don't know, 985 or 990 or something.
Sick.
But I shot way worse than that.
Yeah.
It was just fortunate for me that it dropped.
Here's another thing that might be a reason to do it is oftentimes at the pro level, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see shots or holes that just completely destroy someone's round.
Right.
But how many times have you heard the guy who got like 3rd place in rec say, I was winning it until hole 16 when I got an 11?
I'm not saying change scores. If that guy takes an 11,
No, yeah.
that's still there.
Absolutely.
Just ratings.
Yeah, but still, like I think the having a blow up hole is a much more common thing
Oh, for sure.
at the lower ratings, which is, I mean, it's going to make the ratings more is obviously going to rate them or inflate them a little bit, but I think it makes more welcoming, just
Yeah.
more confusing too.
It definitely makes it more confusing, and for the sake of practicality, it'd be impossible to implement right now.
Ratings are already impossible to figure out anyways.
That's
Who cares?
No, I've got it
ratings
figured out.
aren't that impossible. They're just confusing.
Not yet.
Okay, but I like this because you're held accountable for those bad rounds, like that 941 or whatever it was. I'm sure I took a triple. There's no way I didn't. But anyway, instead of that, I take a double on that hole. Now it's a 950. Now that counts.
Oh, I thought the hole just didn't count. in
You're
your-
you're saying take out the whole period or take a stroke off or what?
I was thinking just take the hole out if golf has already gone through all of this and they found that just taking a stroke off is better. Sure, but
On stroke index, like on see, but then we'd have to stroke index every course to say which hole is the
Sure.
most difficult,
well,
second most
you
difficult.
only get
all the way.
approved baskets. Now we only have approved courses.
I like it.
We're making this thing professional here.
I like it. But I would say it'd be better if we just took one stroke off, because then it's still a bad round that counts.
Sure.
If I took a 7 on a par 4 and that got dropped from my rating entirely, then I probably shot like a 990. Joke's on you. I didn't. Anyway, I like the idea. I think it could be cool. I think it'd be impossible to keep
I
up
think
with.
it's very similar to the system that we have, just a little bit more beginner friendly and less friendly at the high end of ratings.
I'm trying to get strokes where I can, okay?
So I still don't understand all this, but it seems that my stance on disagreeing still stands.
I want to take a stand right now.
Like a mic stand, a music stand.
No,
what-
no.
Where are you going?
It's just just
Don't
talking
bring
about
that back.
just talking about the bridge thing. That's it. Just about your stance on the
We
bridge.
good with this one?
You know,
Yep.
whatever.
Oh yes, I knew him.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right, so
good.
yeah, so done. Anthony, your idea is stupid.
Womp womp.
Do I stop the recording?
Keep your nose up. Yeah, let's do these separate. It'd be
Okay.
kind of fun to see you separately.
Okay, bye everybody.
Okay, bye. But also hello.
Recording has stopped. And 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to a bonus hot take.
Bonus footage.
bonus footage. We're gonna try something new. Where we're gonna try some non-disc golf hot takes to see what we can come up with. Anthony, it is his
It is his.
It is his turn this week, so you have the floor, Anthony.
I very much appreciate when you start struggling and then you just look at me and I take care of it. I'm like your
It's
translator. I'm like your anger translator, like the Key and Peele sketch.
Yeah.
I'm the Bobby translator. I accept that responsibility.
Okay. Well, I've accepted that I have I don't know if it's a speech impediment, but there are times that I get tongue twisted.
Yeah.
And there are times when I can't pronounce a word, and I've learned to accept it. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
So
That's what I'm here for, man.
right. So all right. So back to the hot take, Anthony. What hot take do you have for us?
Okay. Tuesday, I'm not saying this because Tuesday is the best day of the week.
No, it's not.
No,
I will
you're wrong.
explain why it is.
Yeah.
No, it is because Disc Golf Answer Man's on Tuesday.
That will not be one of my points.
Yes.
But it is a Tuesday. Scientifically, Tuesday is proven to be the most productive day of the week. Okay? Between 35 and 39% of employees and business people rank Tuesday as the most productive day of their week. So 1/3 out of 7, that's a big percentage. It's easy to do something once, like, going to the gym, eating healthy, whatever. It's easy to do things once. What's hard is making those things a habit. Tuesday is kind of the day that takes your doing something productive once on Monday and makes that into a habit for the week. Okay? It's kind of like a Monday 2.0 in the sense that it converts that into a successful day, into a successful week.
Okay.
It also offers you the opportunity, if Monday didn't go your way, if Monday kind of stunk, you were kind of groggy, whatever, it kind of gives you that second chance at a Monday to still make that a good week, to say, okay, that was just one bad day. Now I can make it into a whole week. Tuesday ranks as the second. If you ask people their favorite day, Tuesday is the number 2 day. So it's not the first, but that's because the first day always varies. Some people it's Friday, some people it's Saturday, some people it's Sunday. Tuesday is the most consistent, highest ranking day of the week. Okay. Now I'll go through the rest of the days of the week and explain why they are not the best day of the week.
I'm here for
Wait,
this.
how can we debate when he's
No, I'm here for
spitting
this.
out scientific
Bobby,
data analysis?
Since when have we needed scientific data
You're
to
welcome
argue
for
about
coming
anything?
prepared, by the way. Monday stinks because it's Monday, right? It's the first day back at school, back at work. It's the first day off from the weekend. It's the first day back at responsibilities. Stinks.
Do we have any defenses for Monday?
No.
No, because Monday sucks. Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's
Carry on.
easy.
Wednesday is
Okay.
okay. Well, go ahead.
No, I have a defense based on matter of perspective. Now I understand
Oh,
how
are you about to Gary V us real quick?
I'm about to guarantee your ass.
if you're not looking forward to Monday, then you don't
Remember
like
what I just
work.
said about Monday being the first day of doing something easy and then Tuesday making it a successful week?
Right.
I'm still with you that you could make Mondays a good day.
Okay.
Wednesday is hump day. You're so far removed from
Mike.
Hey. Hump day.
You're so far away from last weekend, but you're still not close enough for this coming weekend.
Okay. You're in limbo.
Exactly. Also, Monday is the longest day in terms of letters. That sucks. See
You
my
said
last
Monday.
name.
You meant Wednesday.
Wait, Wednesday is the longest day in terms
What
of
did I
letters.
say?
You
You
said
said
Monday.
Monday.
Yes, Wednesday.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Do
Thursday.
you know how I used to always remember how to say Wednesday? Or how to say it? How to spell it when I was a kid?
What?
Wednesday.
Well, yeah.
That's how you do it.
It's literally phonetic.
I know,
Does
but
everyone
that's
not
always.
still do that?
Yeah.
Does everyone not still spell it Rest Gold Rant?
What?
Restaurant is Rest Gold Rant because AU is gold. That's
No.
how I remember where it goes.
Definitely not.
The no.
All right, I'll see myself
Never
out, guys.
heard
I'll see you
that
next
one.
time.
God.
Catch you around.
I don't
Right
have
back
time
at
for the periodic table right now.
Okay. Thursday and Friday kind of get lumped together. Thursday is just that day of, oh man, I thought it was Friday. Oh, it's almost Friday.
No.
Oh, I thought it was Friday. Friday is the day before the weekend, so you've been stuck at work all week. You've been stuck at school all week. You're just kind of over it. It just drags on because you're looking forward to the weekend. You're looking forward to the weekend. You're looking forward to the weekend. Saturday, people say it's their favorite day, but the reason it shouldn't be is because there's no reason to be productive. There's no reason to get up and do anything. You spent all week at school, at work, whatever. You just want to sleep in. You just want to be lazy and kind of do nothing. And then Sunday is the day where you do everything that you should have done on Saturday
Okay.
because you have to go back to work. You have to go back to school on Monday. Therefore, Tuesday is the best day of the week.
I did not realize we were including weekends.
Okay.
There's still days of the week.
This is the easiest argument for me.
Well, first of all, Justin Choi obviously hates every day because he doesn't like any of this hot takes.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. I'm not going to argue for a different day. I'm just going to argue for not Tuesday. Literally based on the count that you said, Tuesday is like Monday 2.0.
It can be.
No, that's what you said.
Okay.
Run it back. You
Sure.
said it.
Sure.
Everyone's least favorite day is Monday. Maybe not everyone, but most everyone's least favorite day is Monday. And if you describe a day as Monday 2.0, then you lost me at Monday.
2.0 is the improved, better version of something.
No, I'm not about that.
Okay, well,
No.
you're wrong.
Saturday is the
Next.
best because either you're playing in a disc golf tournament, which is fun. Saturday is the day when, because you do all the chores on Sunday, you don't have to do anything on Saturday. You can. Saturday is for the boys, right? You can go play at a disc golf tournament. Personally, I sleep till 3 p.m. You can do whatever, right? That's why Saturday is the best, because there's no obligations. There's no pressure to do anything, but you can do things if you want to. It's option. It's the America of the week. Because freedom.
Dude, Saturday is the
Okay.
America
Okay.
of the week. Thank you.
I'm going to vote. My vote would be for Friday.
What are you, a communist?
Because my Friday.
Do you hate America?
because
Oh,
because to me Friday is you're prepping for the weekend. It's your day. You know, you've got, and you can complete what you didn't get done during the week, so you can feel good that you accomplished what you needed for the week. You're ready for the weekend. Plus, Friday night is the night you can do whatever you want because you know you don't have to get up on Saturday. My Sundays are usually my prep days. Like I cook. I pre-cook food. If I was supposed to do some chores, Sunday's the day to do it before the week. So I like Fridays because they get me ready for the weekend, and you can sleep in, and you've got two buffer days before the week starts.
It's like a victory lap.
Yes.
Right, because I know our workflow is we do a lot of bigger projects that they take a few days, or at least my workflow anyway, is I have video production in general takes a long time just because editing takes time. So usually I aim to have all of my projects done by Friday. And so Friday is the day where I go through, I check off all the lists, and I make sure everything's done. So I'm behind Friday, but it's still not better than America Day.
Yeah, I'm with you on Saturday as being the best day of the week because the options are endless. You can do whatever you want on Saturday. You want to be productive? You can be productive. You want to knock out some work you didn't get to finish during the week? You can knock it out. Alternatively, if you want to go play golf or disc golf or camp or do whatever you want to, you can do it because guess what? You don't have any obligations. You can do
Robert,
whatever you want.
I can do those
Wait,
things.
wait.
You can do
No, you as a
whatever
person that works
you
Monday through Friday,
want.
imagine if that person's Saturday is, what if their weekend is the Tuesday and Wednesday?
Oh,
Well, then they would be an idiot because those aren't. That's not the
nice.
weekend.
no. When I worked in a restaurant
All right, y'all,
Friday,
you working class people,
All
he
you
just
people
called
out
you an
there.
idiot.
There's an obvious yoke.
working in a restaurant, shout out to all my waiters out there, or waitresses, whatever. Fridays and Saturdays are
They're called
usually
flight
the
attendants,
biggest
though.
days. They're called
Oh.
flight attendants at like a beer tasting when they have all the flights. That makes sense though. Anyways, Fridays were great because they were busy and you make money. But Saturdays, you had to be there all day, and it was a complete gamble as whether or not you'd be busy or not. So I can totally see from working a different work week in a completely different industry.
Totally.
I come from a retail world when I worked at the Buckle
Yes.
and Venture.
You hate
I
Saturdays and
was
Sundays
you
in
had
retail.
to work Saturday. You
If
you
you-
wanted to because the biggest sales day, but it was Saturday.
Sure.
Everybody was doing something else, or
Okay.
it felt like
so-
everybody.
So
was.
we're operating under the assumption that we're talking on Monday to Friday work week. That's what I'm operating on.
This is my hot take. I didn't say that.
Okay, that's what I'm operating. That's what I'm operating on because that's our work week, or at least close enough to it. In that work week, the first day of your weekend is the best day. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to prep for anything. You don't have to do anything. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to, you can. Saying Saturday is the America of the week. I'm with Danny. It's the first time we've ever agreed on. That's not true. It's fantastic.
Almost true.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments, either on YouTube or in the chat, if you are okay with us debating non-disc golf stuff.
And which day of the week is your America
Which
Day?
day of the week is your America? Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you on the next, whatever this is.
Disc golf
The
hot
next
takes.
episode.
Something hot takes.
All right.
Takes.
Takes.